Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to share about how we can report a defect in Jira and also what are the different checklists we need to take care of while reporting a defect and also before closing a defect. Let's start. Hey guys, yeah. So generally in most of the projects, Jira would be used as a test management tool. As you guys can see, I have logged into Jira. Okay, this is one of a sample Jira URL which I have created. Okay, now first, how to create a defect in Jira. So on the screen, you can see, right, like this is in your project, this can be your project dashboard, or if you already have a Jira access as a tester, then you will be having your project dashboard access, right? So simply you can open that one here. For example, Salesforce order management is one of the Jira project which I have created. Okay. Now on the screen, you can see a button called as create, right? So you can just click on a create button. Yeah. So as soon as you click on the create button, you could see some pop-up and some fields have been auto-populated on the screen. Right. Now here, let's go through one by one what each field signifies and while reporting a defect, what are the things you have to take care as a tester. Okay. Then at the end, I would also show you the defect reporting checklist which you guys have to take care of. Okay. Now the first field is project. Okay. So generally if you are already on the project dashboard and from there only if you have clicked on the create button, then automatically your project would be selected over here. But in case if this is not your project, make sure you are selecting the right project over here. Okay, so that once you create a defect, this particular defect would be linked to this particular project only. Take care of that. Okay, next most important thing is issue type. Okay, you can see here, right, automatically it's selected as a story. Okay, so what you have to do, click on this and just select a bug. Okay, as you are creating a defect, make sure you're selecting issue type as bug. Okay, me by myself, I made multiple times in a hurry, I made a mistake here by simply creating a story instead of a bug. Okay, so make sure you're selecting bug over here. Okay, while creating a defect. Next thing is status. So by default the status would be to do only, because this defect you are just creating, right? So by default the status would be in to do only, just leave it. Okay, next thing is summary. So summary should be very short, and whoever opens this defect, they need to clearly understand what exactly the defect is. So make sure you are following a proper naming convention for each and every defect, and also it should be short one. Now here what I mean by a proper naming convention, for example, you're working as a tester in an agile project, then you will be working in sprints, right? So for example, if you found the defects in sprint 1, you think, so what you can do, just start with sprint 1. Okay, then you can mention the module name, like in whatever project you're working for, that particular project you will be having multiple modules, right? So just mention the module name. Okay, for example, the module name is order management, you think. Okay, then you can start with the actual defect description, like what is the issue. For example, issue with order, issue with order history tracking. Okay, so make sure to maintain proper naming convention. Means what, later under same order management if you observed another issue, and if you want to report another defect, then what you can do, you can again create a defect mentioning it as a sprint 1 only, and the module name also would be order management only. Just the description changes over here. Okay. So this is called as a proper naming convention for whatever defect you are reporting. Okay. So the next important thing is description. In this description, clearly you have to write your steps to reproduce. Means what are the steps if by which if anyone, like it can be a developer or it can be a business or it can be another tester as well, if they follow through these steps, they should be able to reproduce those defects. Okay, so steps to reproduce are very important. Make sure you're writing detailed steps to reproduce in the description section. Okay, so just you can mention like simply login to Salesforce application using admin credentials. I'm just sharing as an example, but you can mention according to your steps. Okay, log in with any valid credentials, Salesforce credentials. Okay, next thing is as soon as you log in, so order management I mentioned, right? So what are the steps you need to follow to navigate to that order management? Okay, so you can mention those steps over here. Okay, click on button, navigate to, okay, etc. So you can write the clear steps. Okay, mention these steps. Okay, next thing is, then you can also mention like where you are tracking your order history. Okay, you can click on order history button. Okay, so all the steps should be in very detail. Okay, make sure you're writing each and every step to reproduce the defect. Okay, next thing what you can do is actual result and expected result. Okay, so now our steps to reproduce is done. When we follow these steps, what is the actual result that we received? So actual result on the UI is when I clicked on the order history button, I'm not able to view any order history. It simply says processing. Okay, expected result, what should be the expected result? Expected result should be user should be able to view the order history. Okay, clearly whatever the user, whatever order he has purchased, all the order history should be clearly visible to the user along with the timestamp. That is the expected result. Okay, after adding the actual and expected result, what you can do is you can also, here in the description itself, you can clearly add the environment or the URL which you have used for your testing. Okay, you can add it here itself, and also you can add the test data which you have used for this particular testing. Okay, next important thing is assignee. So take care of this guys. Automatically the assignee would be automatic, so automatically it will assign to anyone if you click on create button. So make sure you click here and you're assigning to the right team member. I mean the developer or business, if you want to review, if you want business to review your defect. So make sure this particular defect should be assigned to the correct team member. Okay, or else you can assign to yourself as well. Simply click on assign to me if you want to assign it to yourself. Okay, next, labels. So currently labels are not much important, but yeah, you can see, right, we have something called a sprint also. So here you can select your sprint one, then reporter name will be the person who is actually creating the defect. Okay, which is me. Okay, then attachments. Okay, make sure you are adding the correct screenshots. or screen prints. And if you have any video recording of the defect flow, you can add that video recording as well. If you have any backend logs or the DB updates, you can add those attachments as well over here. So the defect proofs are very important. Make sure you're adding those. Okay. Next thing, linking the issue. Now, it's not like you're just reporting a defect, right? So, by testing which story you got this defect, so you can link this particular defect to that particular user story. Okay. So, what you can do, simply click on this particular defect relates to, okay, select relates to, and you can select the issue over here. Now, whatever defect, okay, you can see, right, automatically I'm able to view one user story because here I have created a dummy user story. Okay, so this is the dummy user story which I created. Okay, so simply in real time, you can link your actual user story. Okay, you can simply search with the user story number and link that user story here. Okay, next, nothing much. We are good with defect reporting. Okay, so then simply click on create. Yeah, so issue has been created. Okay, you can see here, right? Scrum 2. This is the issue. Sprint 1 order management issue with order history tracking. Okay, so this is the defect which we created. Now, if you want to view this defect, simply open this defect. So the defect number is Scrum 2. Okay. Yeah, so this is the defect, guys. You can see here, right? This is the defect name, and we have the defect description. And yeah, here, see, there is something interesting. You can see, right? Linked issues. So we have linked this defect to this particular user story. So that's why here you can see this. Now, if I go to the user story also, if I refresh the screen, Scrum 1 is the user story, right? So you can see here, right? Linked issue. So for this user story also, I can see this defect. It got linked. Okay. So this is how you can create a defect. You can link the defect to that particular user story. Okay. And at the bottom, you can see comments, history, work log, lot of other things. And on the right side, you can see, right? Like we have the different status, assignee, it's assigned to myself, sprint, reporter, lot of other things. Okay. Yes, guys. So this is how you can report a defect in Jira and you can link it to the user story. Now, let's once again understand what are the different defect reporting checklist we have to take care of while reporting a defect. Okay. The first thing is provide clear information. So while few minutes back, I navigated you guys through creating a defect in Jira. As you could see, clear information is very important. Means what? The summary of the defect. Okay, like it should be short, and also the steps to reproduce. It should be very detailed so that any user who goes through your defect, even they should understand and they should be able to easily reproduce your defect. Okay, so providing clear information is really important. This is a first checklist. Next, second point is fill mandatory details. Like in while creating a defect, we do have few mandatory details, right? Like now, as earlier, whatever I showed you, that was a sample defect. So while creating a defect, it didn't actually ask me to add few other mandatory details, but in real time, it may ask you to add the environment details. The environment field would be mandatory, also to add the priority and severity of the defect. Okay, environment which we tested, priority and severity of the defect, and few other things as well, labels and all. My feature link also, like uh, to which feature that particular user story is linked. Okay, so these few things might be mandatory for some projects. Okay, so make sure you're filling all the mandatory details. Okay, third point in our checklist is attach defect proofs. So earlier, as you could see, I told you guys we have to attach the screenshots, any defect reproducing video, or any backend logs, anything which you have, which may help the developer to actually clearly understand the defect. Those all things you can attach. Okay. Fourth point would be link to user story and naming convention. Yes, as already discussed, it's not only about creating a defect, but linking the defect to the user story is also really important. Okay. Next, naming convention. As I showed you guys, I was in the summary, I was adding sprint one, then the particular module name, then the actual defect description, right? So that particular naming convention is really important, so that whoever sees your defect, they can easily understand, okay, these all defects are related to sprint one. Next, okay, these all defects are related to this order management module. Okay, so it would be easy for the team members to understand. So naming convention is really important. Fifth point is reproduce before reporting. Before you're reporting your defect, make sure you're reproducing it. Okay, like, oh, first you found the issue, you were able to reproduce it. Before reporting, try to once again reproduce it. Still, if you're able to view the issue, then go ahead and report the issue. Okay, because if you're not able to reproduce the defect, then again developer may get back to you mentioning like, I'm not able to reproduce it in my environment, it's working fine for me. So those things might happen. To avoid those confusions, you can reproduce your defect once again before reporting it in Jira. Okay. Next thing is status update. Initially, when you're creating your defect, as you could see, it's in to do status, right? Later, you will assign it to the developer. Again, developer will change the status to in progress. Then, once the developer fixes the issue, he might assign it to you. So, make sure you are following those status updates of the defect. Okay, then only you can clearly understand like, okay, what is the actual status of the defect, whether it's fixed or it's still in development or it's assigned for retesting. So make sure you're following that. Okay, the next and most important thing of the reporting, defect reporting checklist is root cause of the issue. Okay, so you observed one issue. Just before reporting it, try to understand what is the root cause of the issue from your end. Okay, try to go through the logs, understand the logs, try to understand the screenshots, and discuss with the developer, okay, what might be the root cause of the issue, so that while closing the defect, you have to update the root cause of the issue, right? Whether it's a code issue, or whether it's a deployment issue, or whether it's a tester's understanding, or whether it's a test data issue. Sometimes it might be a test data issue also, right? Whether it's an environment issue. So lot of things might be there as a root cause. Okay, try to understand from your end what is the root cause of the issue, or discuss with the developer. Okay, collaborate with the developer, and while closing the defect, make sure the root cause of the issue is updated in the Jira in the defect. It can be, there would be one particular field as a root cause that could be updated. It will have just like code issue, test data issue, just like that. You can select it. And also, it would be really helpful for others if a clear root cause can be updated in the comments as well. What is the actual root cause of the issue and how it has been fixed? Okay, then such issues can be avoided in the future. Also, if any such issue reoccurs, it would be easy to refer again this defect and understand, okay, what is the issue, why we got the same issue once again. Okay, so that's how r- adding, updating the root cause of the issue before closing the defect, or the testers also understanding the root cause of the issue is really important. Okay, that's it, guys. This is all about how you can report a defect in Jira and what are the seven most important defects reporting checklist items which you have to take care of while reporting a defect and while closing a defect as well. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video.